Voila! Currently on holiday. Managed to get away from the kids. Sorry, managed to, sadly, spend some time apart from the kids. Not sure how I'm going to manage. Having a little walk through San Sebastian. Point is, artificial intelligence. So I've been writing a book on artificial intelligence in the different professional service firms and collected a whole load of use cases. The key thing I want to get across in this message is to really understand the ontology of professional service firms, or their subject matter. So for example, the subject matter of consultancies is organisations or people within organisations. You might define that at different levels, so you might talk about leadership or you might talk about teams or IT or whatever, but it's part of an organisational system. Highly unpredictable, highly emergent, highly contingent on its contextual environment. The same can't be said of medicine, of law, to some extent, or even of marketing. In other words, the ontology of the knowledge base is quite unpredictable in consulting, which is why you can't simply go in with a set of best practices, implement them in any organisation, and then expect consistent outcomes. Unlike the law, where in the UK, a tenant contract looks pretty much the same, give or take a bit. Within medicine, if you give paracetamol to people, they're very likely to have similar outcomes. Now, that means that when you are deciding whether or not to use AI in your professional service firm, the question you need to ask is, to what extent is my intervention, or are the effects of my intervention, predictable? In medicine, it's fairly highly predictable. You can predict with relative accuracy. There are, of course, side effects and unintended consequences. What the impacts of drug A, B, and C are. In law, you can predict what type of contract you're likely to be able to generate. The reason you need to ask that question is because that question has been answered by AI. AI is generating predictions, in effect. It's prediction machines. Now, organizations generally are quite highly unpredictable. What you implement in a small manufacturing company in Kent is going to be very different to what you implement in a multinational company in Russia and Holland and Brazil. And the effects of your interventions are going to be very different. So that's the question you want to be asking. Anyway, adios.